What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardcore Fab Shop, and today we're talking Vette KART. Well, it's been a minute since we talked about the Vette KART, and we've got a lot of catching up to do. So let's just jump right into it. What I've done since you guys have last seen it, of course, all of these tabs, anywhere you see a tab put in there, is going to be a spot where there's going to be a body panel. Did some more bracing with some speed holes and stuff in there. The doors are all finished up and working out pretty good. Got some bracing in there on the back of the doors and that whole jam area. Decked out the back of it with a spot for the tag to go. And that all is going to have panels in there with some lights and stuff in that area. Maybe some louvers or something like that too. Haven't decided 100% sure yet there. And you can see the fuel cells back in there. Got mounts in there for it. And made a pretty sweet little plate to go on the top of it. That's going to hold it all down and keep everything in place. Then we go on around here. You can see the other side's already all done. Pretty much all the fab work is done. The only thing that I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing yet is for the dash and maybe like a built-in center console type thing or something. So that bar is still unpainted and still kind of in limbo a little bit there. I am planning on putting a dash top on it back to kind of the original window sill area right in through here. And think there'll be a windshield that will glue or bolt into this panel here and then go back around where the stock one was originally, and we can still be able to see the VIN number at that point and still see that it's a Corvette. So motor wise, the mock-up motor is out of there. We've got our 5.3 in there that's going to end up staying in there. Got the radiator mount all in and set. It's kind of dark underneath there. You can't really see the bottom of that very good, but it's there. Pretty much ready for all of the accessory brackets and all of that stuff to go on. Everything on the motor now is clearing the firewall and cross member and all that stuff, so there's not going to be any issues with that. There's plenty of room for the headers that I bought to go down in through there. I've got to build a mount for the tranny. In the C4 Corvettes, they did not have a transmission mount. So what they ended up doing is they had a torque arm, and that torque arm went from the back of the transmission all the way to the rear end. That's what held up the back of the tranny, and that's what keeps the rear end from torquing. So I've got to build a bracket to go from my 400 trans that's in there now that never had a torque arm bolted to it to the torque arm. So that's a little bit of a project yet to do. Then pretty much the only other things I've got is some wiring and some plumbing for some fuel lines, and we should be pretty close to being able to start this thing. Here's kind of a rundown of some of the parts that's going to end up having to go on it to make it work, or may not go on it, depending on what it is. This is the Vette intake that I got from a friend of mine. I was thinking that we was going to be able to use the truck fuel rails off of there. You can see they're at an angle. And the intake itself is got the injectors going in straight. So that's going to end up being a problem. Hopefully I can internet that a little bit and figure out a way to make that work. Rob some more stuff off of the stock intake to put that all together. I've got all of my brackets here from ITC. And all we need for bracketry is something to hold on the alternator and the power steering pump. And be able to run a belt around the water pump, of course. So that bracketry is going to be able to do that. Then we've got a new water pump there. That is an LS1 style water pump that works out better for everything for clearancing the intake, since you can see that intake sits way lower than the stock one. The truck intake had a port that came out the top of the water pump right here and then went out to the radiator. So that just didn't work with what I had planned here. So got this all working to where it's going to go together. ITC makes a bunch of cool products to be able to put accessories on LS stuff and go about any direction you want to go. Got the stock starter and power steering pump and alternator. Got most of the rat turds out of the alternator. Got rid of my herpetocephalus that was going on in there. And should be able to clean that stuff all up and put it on and make it a go. That kind of catches everybody up on where we're at. And I'm hoping real soon to get this thing fired up. It probably won't have any panels on it when I get it fired up for the first time, but I can go back and put the panels in about whenever I want to. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you posted on the progress, and I'll get you some video of startup as soon as it happens.